U.S. has imposed new sanctions on Iranian individuals and entities just days after pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. U.S. Treasury Department said it's working with the United Arab Emirates to disrupt an alleged currency exchange network, which is run by the Islamic Revolution Guards Corps. Sanctions target 6 individuals and 3 companies with ties to the IRGC. They're accused of funneling hundreds of millions of dollars to the force. U.S. Treasury says Iran's central bank is complicit in abusing entities in the UAE to acquire U.S. dollars to fund the IRGC's activities. And joining us now out of Ontario is Jason Unruhe, political commentator. Hello, Jason. It's nice to have you back on the program. Your thoughts? I mean, the IRGC right now is what's standing between, terrorist invasions. The Daesh is surrounded. It's in Afghanistan. It's in Iraq. It was in Iraq. It's still remnants of it in the far eastern deserts. It's still in Syrian deserts. And here's the IRGC on the front lines. Why does the West, demand on trying to cripple IRGC when it's providing security for the Iranian nation?
Well, the fact is that the IRGC is the main military body of Iran, and I think it's the United States has always tried to undermine the military capacity of Iran. Just recently, we saw the U.S. President Donald Trump mentioning the Iranian missile program as something the JPCOA did not deal with, even though it was not a part of it. I think this is part of a larger strategy to undermine the military capacity of Iran and largely its ability to defend itself and also to assist the Syrian government in its endeavor against the terrorist forces. I think that most likely this is the case that we're seeing right now, because it's almost a guarantee that the Syrian government is going to win the war against Daesh in the country and other aligned terrorist forces. And I think this is the U.S.'s way of punishing Iran for daring to stand with its ally against Daesh when the United States claims that it's fighting Daesh as well. I think that the growing capacity of Iran and the fact that it's been cooperating with Syria has been something of a sore point for the United States. Though I think a large part of the JPCOA agreement was to undermine the military capacity of Iran. However, as we've seen, the missile development has gone farther than the U.S. anticipated that it would. The Revolutionary Guard has proven that it's capable of cooperating with powers inside the region to accomplish great things in fighting terrorism. And this is something that the United States doesn't want to see. They want a complete destruction, or at least very much a significant undermining of the military potential of Iran in order to forward the goal of trying to destabilize it and destroy it. Another part of that is not wanting Israel to face any kind of opposition in the region. The countries surrounding it that would try to defend themselves against an Israeli attack, they want to undermine that capability of anyone who hasn't.
And Jason, Tehran isn't supposed to look at that as provocatively or as a provocation or as hostility when you're giving billions of arms, billions of dollars worth of arms to Tel Aviv, you're selling billions of dollars worth weaponry to Riyadh, and then you're trying to choke off Iran's military. What are you setting the stage for here?
Well, they're setting a stage for undermining those who oppose U.S. power in the region. They're propping up their allies, obviously, Saudi Arabia and Israel. While they're building up their military capabilities, they're undermining those of others in order to extend more influence throughout the country. Both Israel and Saudi Arabia are wholly owned subsidiaries of the United States and have been projecting U.S. imperialist interests, as well as much of their own inside that region. So I don't think that it's really any surprise that we would see this kind of situation where, Saudi Arabia or Israel are receiving a great deal of military aid, or at least in the form of a great deal of military hardware, where everyone else who's trying to stand against these powers, who's trying to stand against U.S. power in the region, that particular sphere of influence would try to be undermined. I think it just speaks more of the true intentions of the United States, that this is not anything to do with combating terrorism, but trying to project its own power over the various country and peoples in the region.
Thank you for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you on the program, Mr. Jason Unruhe out of Ontario, political commentator.